Hello everyone, Tech Hermit D here with you. Welcome to our new series. I am so excited to share this with you all. I'm driving through the little town near where I grew up on the way down to our family's farm. We're going to go see mom and dad for a little bit and talk through some things with them and help them with some things tomorrow. But for the last year or so, Dad and I have been talking. He and Mom are to the point where they kind of want to start slowing down a little bit and enjoying their retirement years. And so we have made some arrangements to come home and take over operation of the farm, give them a chance to relax a little bit and travel and spend time with grandkids and such. And so we're just headed down that way to the area where my family has farmed for several decades. My great-grandfather farmed in this area a long time ago. My granddad had been leading the farm for several decades before he retired, and then Dad took over. And now Dad's decided that it's time for them to pass it on to the next generation. So we have made some arrangements and left our retired from our corporate jobs in the city and decided to come home and start a new chapter of our journey together. So that guy's driving way too fast if he's getting that much air. Holy moly. Anyway, my wife will be joining us before too long. She's tidying up some things with our previous house and such. And my kids are excited. They love to come visit grandparents and see the animals on the farm and work with the equipment and things. So it's going to be a whole new adventure for us. And as we come around the bend here, you can see the dairy barn, the dairy operation that's been there, 60 years, I guess, maybe, in operation. Silos and things that were built quite a while ago. I grew up running around this place. Dad's house is up on the hill there to the left you saw go by. And so we've got some hay cutting, I think, to do tomorrow. We got some planting to do and some rolling and such. But before we get into all that, we're going to duck in this little country road right here and head down to the house that we have bought to be our base of operations while we're working on the farm. I was here a couple of weeks ago. We closed on the house and left my truck here. So we're going to ease into the driveway and kind of get situated and then go up and see Mom and Dad a little bit. But anyway, welcome to our new adventure. I'm excited to get started, and it's been a long time since I've been on a tractor and working in the fields and such. And so it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And we'll learn a little bit along the way and see if we can advance the family farm a little bit more. Well, good morning, everyone. First night in the new house went just swimmingly. We're about to head up to see Dad and say hi to them and see what they've got for us for today and see if we can get this first day started. It's a gorgeous day here, so we're looking forward to getting some work done and doing something a little different besides staring at a computer screen. So let's run up and say hi to them and get this day started. Thankfully, it's not too far away. You can actually see their house up on the hill over here to the left. Although it looks like he closed his gates, so we're going to have to stop and open those before we go up there. But that's okay. We'll see if Mom's got something cooked up for breakfast when we get there, too. That way, yep, some traffic coming. I think we can get out after him if we hurry. There we are. Okay. This house my grandfather built back in the 60s, I think. Or maybe late 50s, early 60s. I forget exactly when it was. He comes out. Glad I didn't park too close. A while since I've been here. And this looks like his truck is in the carport. Mom's truck or car is here too. So you might notice off to the right and back up in the wood lines there is a log cabin. My dad was actually born in that log cabin and grew up around here too. So several years ago they decided to fix the cabin up. We'll walk up there right quick before we go inside. They decided to fix the cabin up and use it as kind of a guest suite for kids and grandkids that come visit. And, it's kind of a neat link to know that, that's so long that this cabin's been around for so long. So we've stayed in there a time or two. Grandkids love, they consider it camping out when they come up in there. So anyway, let's run down and see what Dad's got for us and what's going on today. Try to get the lay of the land of what we need to try to get accomplished today. And then let's get moving. Okay, well, Mom actually did have some breakfast cooked, so we stayed in there and talked to them for a little bit and kind of catch up with them. Dad said the first thing we probably need to do today is go down and check the feed for the cattle. He said they were running a little bit low last night, and we're probably going to wind up finishing off what they had available. So we probably will have to, he's going to be mad at me. I'm going to back out in his front yard, but that'll be all right. It's dry. It'll be fine. So anyway, we probably need to mix up some cattle feed. So we're going to head down and check out the barn and just see exactly what they have and what they need put together. Obviously, again, it's not very far of a drive. It's kind of nice living right here around the farm. So let's go and see exactly what's in here. Okay. Okay, well, as you can see, they did indeed run out of food overnight last night, so we need to get this food troughs refilled. So we're going to need to mix up some TMR and get that going, get these cattle fed. So we're going to hop right over around and grab this case. Now, this case was my granddad's pride and joy. And it'll tell how many hours he rode on that thing doing work. Several years after his retirement, he and some other folks did a full restoration on it, so it looks amazing. Lots of power in that tractor, so it's a lot of fun. Does a good job for us. When I was little, I used to ride around with my granddad and my dad, sitting on that square fender while they were working, just having a big old time being out with them and using the equipment. So it's neat to get to come back and see that thing still around and putting in work all these years later. So let's get this thing here, get this hooked up, pull it out there where we can put some bales in it and see if we can get these cattle fed. All right, that's better. Go get the John Deere with the lift on it, or the loader on it. This one may be the next candidate for restoration. It's starting to look a little rough. Evidently it got a new hour meter at some point recently, because it only shows 10 hours on it. I guarantee you it's probably more like 10,000 hours on it, is the way we've used this thing. So we're going to need some silage too, aren't we? We don't have any silage bales in the shed, so let's run over right quick and see if this silage pile is ready to open up. And fermenting 100%, so yes it is. So let's go ahead and get that opened up. We're going to need some out of there in a minute. Good deal. Look at all that nice silage food there. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna have to jump back over on the case and turn on the feed mixer. We'll put some of this bale in there. Don't walk under it. Okay. About 2,000 liters or so off of that. It's been a while since I did this ratio, so I'll set this down in case I need it some more in a minute. Whoops, not like that. There we go, the other lever. Yipes. The hydraulics are touchier than I remember. And we'll put some straw in there. About 2,000 liters in there. We get them. Probably won't do this quite right to make an exact full load, but okay. That wasn't a lot of liters off of that. All right. This may take a minute when I get the ratios right. And now I need to pop the bale spike off and go get the bucket to get us some silage. So we'll put it right over here around the corner out of the way for the moment. Dad's probably laughing at me up there taking so long to do this, but we'll get it. Okay, off to get some silage out of the pit silo. There we are. There's a full bucket. Well, 50%, 27%. I believe we could do with a little bit more, honestly. Let's grab another bucket full and see what happens to our ratios. What's going on here? Oh, I got the bucket down too far. That's what it is. Now let's try. Here we go. That filled up pretty quickly then. Still green there. Oh, we're out. Okay. Okay, so let's just go with that. We'll see how much that made up. That'll get them through the day at least. Okay. Around from the other side of the barn. Into the feed troughs. That ought to be enough to get them through the day anyway. Okay. Just means I'll have to do this again tomorrow, but we'll get better at this as we go. Figure out kind of how much is going to take of each thing to put in there to get a full load. We may even just take some time and mix up a few loads all at once and kind of bulk load it so we don't have to do this every day. But for now, with as much as we have to do today, I'm going to go ahead and snuggle this back up in the corner. And then it's almost 9 o'clock already. I know we've got to mow that grass field around the old barn, which we haven't been down there yet. We'll take you on a tour down there and kind of show you around. We've got to cut that hay today. I think we're probably going to I think this first cutting we're actually going to make hay bales out of, and next cutting we may wrap. Yeah, we'll have to rent a wrapper. We don't have one of those on the farm, but we may wind up wrapping those and making silage bales out of those. But we'll see. Let me get that John Deere back in here right quick. I'll leave that bale spike out there for the moment. I don't remember when we got this one. I remember riding around on it, but I don't remember when they actually acquired this tractor. I know you'll see in a bit, there's a 4020 up there that I remember as well, but I don't remember exactly when this one got to the farm. Looks like it's in a little bit of need of some TLC though. Okay, let's go grab it. Let's see. Yeah, that only put 5,500 liters in there, so that'll barely take them through today probably. We'll have to come back and do kind of a several loads kind of deal and figure out our ratios and top them off, but that'll get them going for the moment anyway. So we're going to go up to the old barn and get some stuff ready to mow that grass field around. You can see it there off kind of in the distance. It's time, April's the time for the first cutting. We got to do some planting. I know we got 3 fields here that Dad said they just finished up plowing and cultivating and picking up rocks and all that stuff, so those should be in really good shape They had lime put down. Hired a guy from co-op to bring his truck and lime everything last fall, so we're in good shape there. I'm gonna drive up the road. It's kind of wild. We've always used this as a hayfield, sort of, but there's a road right between it to get up to the old barn. This barn, gosh, you can tell it's in pretty bad shape. We don't even use it anymore. There's holes in the roof and things. We just haven't torn it down yet, but may have to look into that sometime in the next year or two and see because that's a nice flat spot up on top of this hill to put some sheds or something. And then this shed and workshop, I think they built that somewhere in the 70s maybe. Got a vehicle workshop in one bay, and you can see that old Chevy dually in there. That was my first vehicle. I bought that from Dad when I started driving, and it's still around the farm kicking around and doing work. And then the old International bulk truck. That thing has been, it was here before I was, and so it's still running around. It's got a little hiccup in every once in a while the engine will get a little cranky, but it works pretty well. And then we got a couple of new sheds down here that I say new. These were built, I think, in the 80s. The farm started to expand a little bit, and the other barn got to where it wouldn't house what we needed. So we, Papa and Dad put these sheds in here just to kind of keep things out of the dry. A couple of hay wagons, balers and mowers and stuff. All the kind of baling stuff is on this end, and tractors and combines in the middle. That combine's a new addition. Dad just got that not too many years ago. It's a little older model. I think it was a 95 model maybe, if I remember right, but he just got that not long ago. And there's that 4020. Interesting little tidbit before we move on. I grew up driving this tractor with Dad. We farmed with this one. He did a restoration on it. It looks great, and so looks like couple little dings since he did it, but that's what happens when you actually use it on the farm. So we're actually going to try to hook the hay bind up to that. I think is what we're doing here in a minute to mow this field. And then moving on down, we've got some other planting and harvesting stuff, and planter and seeder, wheel disc, and cultipacker back there in the back, and, headers for the combine. And then that weird looking contraption is a pull type. We always call them silage choppers because that's all we ever used them for, was making corn silage out of them, and a couple of forage wagons. But people call them forage harvesters or whatever. I grew up calling them silage choppers, so that's in there too. We'll do some of that later this fall when we get ready to start replenishing that silage, the pit silo down there. But for now, I'm just going to kind of leave my truck here, and we're going to hop in the M and pull out. There you go. He's a little cranky this morning, but he fired. We pull out that hay bind, at least pull it out there. I don't know if we'll mow with it or not. We'll see what happens. We used to, but this is a little bit bigger hay bind than the one that Dad had when I was growing up, so I'm not sure if I'll have to check see if this tractor is actually big enough for that or not. It's not even wanting to hook up. Oh, there's a ball on it. All right, well, I'm not going to change that. I'll just get a different tractor. We'll put the M back over here out the way. Maybe we'll mow with the 4020 today. And stuff back in the corner, you can see a little 4000 Ford. We bought that one from one of Dad's uncles. We had that one that when we were raising his crop a few years, and I used to pull a hay conditioner with that thing before we got the hay bind. Dad would mow, and I would run the conditioner behind this thing. So bought that off of one of his uncles when his uncle stopped farming. And then the trusty old 4020. This guy's a beast right here. Just keeps on running. We'll hook the hay bind up to this one and see what we can pull out here and get all greased up and ready to go. Dad's John Deere hay wagons. Years ago, my granddad and Dad's older brother, whoops, kind of bumped into the baler there a little bit, used to run a custom hay baling operation. There's, I don't know if you can see it back in the back, kind of behind the tedder, there's an old New Holland hay rake back there. They would go around and, people, a lot of small farms around here didn't have the money to buy their own hay balers, so they would cut it with a sickle bar mower, and my uncle and dad and granddad would go and rake it and bale it for them, and they would either pay my granddad in cash, or sometimes they'd just pay him in a portion of the bales, and so which come back and fed dairy cattle over to where we just were, right? So it worked out all right. But so there's quite a legacy of hay work in my family. Okay, let's see what we can do here and see if we can get this hay field cut, and I'll start cutting. Dad may be over in a little while to run the tedder and the hay rake. We'll see what happens. That's going to do it for this first episode of our new Coming Home series. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.